good evening, and welcome to C3Arts Radio. Coming live and direct to you from City College, New York, of course, the college on the hill. And we are the broadcast arm of the City College Center for the Arts. And we're here to say a Happy New Year and all that good stuff. Here with my right-hand man, Mr. Winston Brewington here. How you doing? Happy New Year, Winston.
Happy New Year to you, man. I'm glad to be back.
Yeah, you know, we were doing all this talking and then say Happy New Year. I apologize.
Lots of good stuff to look forward to.
Yeah. And we have a little break in the weather. So
exactly. So it's definitely another reason to come back.
Yeah, from 0 degrees to 25 degrees. That's a marked improvement.
I saw people outside wearing flip-flops and shorts and stuff. They couldn't believe it.
Well, it's cold outside, but it's toasty in here, as they like to say, right? That's on the Christmas Carol or something.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway. So, looking forward to a great 2018. This is, of course, our first episode of the new year, so we're very happy to have another fantastic show lined up for you today. We're going to get into it in a minute. First, we're going to go to a little bit of music, and we also want to tell you a little bit about some of the changes that we're making here at C3 Arts Radio, introduce you some new personalities. So we're going to get back in un momento, and this is C3 Arts Radio.
Deposit the clocks, them love it. From me tell you about desert clocks, every cripper get fling where straight quality bank grabber and them thing there. Y'all see me on the bar, say the king there. Victoria see them king, they get fling where.
Some smell nice, some feel sweet. Some shirt box, some jeans neat. Myself, baby, myself, I'm free. She said freaky, she said she want great, he said.
Hey girl, let me see that tongue ring there. All of the tattoo panda clean skin there. Inna your blackberry, see me pin there. Scroll good on and come up and them thing there.
Some smell nice, some feel sweet. Some shirt box, some jeans neat. Myself, baby, myself, I'm free. She said freaky, she said she want great.
Girl, I mind me fi wine me, she love me, yeah.
She said she don't go and tell me, said
bring me close.
She said,
what kind of style you want?
Me said, bring it in a suede and leather, every material for the boss. Bound on a vanity, desert clocks. But them style I will love and dance. Represent for the cause.
The type of clocks when me a wait on. Fi make a England, it a fi make a Vietnam. Me a beat it from me in a grade one. Poppy love it, leather pimpin', love it sweet one.
Some smell nice, some feel sweet. Some shirt box, some jeans neat. Myself, baby, myself, I'm free. She said freaky, she said she want great.
Fi get a child man and woman creation. Too easy it can done by a caveman. Me a fi get pick me from every nation. All color, all coordination.
Some smell nice, some feel sweet. Some shirt box, some jeans neat. Myself, baby, myself, I'm free. She said freaky, she said she want great.
Girl, I mind me fi wine me, she love me, yeah.
She said she don't go and tell me, said
bring me close.
She said,
what kind of style you want?
Me said, bring it in a suede and leather, every material for the boss. Bound on a vanity, desert clocks. But them style I will love and dance. Represent for the cause.
Russia. Clean out the closet, deposit the clocks, them love it. From me tell you about desert clocks, every cripper get fling where straight quality bank grabber and them thing there. Y'all see me on the bar, say the king there. Victoria see them king, they get fling where.
C3 Arts Radio, and we are back, ladies and gentlemen. We're always back right here, WHCR 90.3 FM. And this is, of course, C3 Arts Radio, your place for arts advocacy. And I can't tell you how excited we are for what's to happen here in 2018. And this being our first show, we're quite happy to start it off with a bang. I want to first give a special hello to Miss Melody Vaughn. She's new part of the C3Arts radio family. We want to say thank you for joining us, Melody. How are you?
Welcome. I'm wonderful, Mr. Phillip. How are you?
Good,
Thank
good,
you for
good.
having me.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So we're going to really do a deep dive into Melody's story next week. But we invited her to join us here today for very, very, very special guest, of course. One of our most popular guests. I must say, Mr. Khalil Kane, of course. Welcome back, Khalil.
I'm back. What's happening? What's happening?
How you doing? See,
I'm good.
You know we had to have you back very soon. And you have so much going on. Thank you for dropping back in with us.
Happy to be here,
Khalil.
Phil.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Now, off the air, Khalil and I were having a conversation, and we were talking about a subject that may or may not. I want to return back to our conversation, Khalil. Really set the stage for Khalil's newest project. It's called Agnes the Play, and it is a courtroom drama set in the year 2047. It's written by It's a Life.
Ice.
It's
Ice Life, my man.
Ice Life.
Yes.
Okay. I thought it was like It's a Knife.
Nah, man. Yo, Ice, man. He's a poet. He's an educator. Playwright, actor. He's doing his thing.
He is definitely doing his thing, and he's done TED Talks. And
yes.
He's a serious guy.
Nice.
He's a very, very serious guy. And Matt Warner.
Yes.
So you have the super talent on the front end, Ice, and then you have this technical talent on the back end.
Matt Warner writes for Google. He's
Right.
been with Google for a minute, and getting to know Matt, like as we're moving along, he's done all these other gigs, like a pastry chef, and I used to be a photographer. Because he's taking pictures. I was like, damn, those are nice. Yeah, I used to be a photographer. Yo, where'd you get this gig? I used to be a pastry chef. I didn't know. I'm like, all right, man, whatever. But he's at Google, and you meet. So this now corporate white dude at Google meets a young brother that is steeped in the community and steeped in the arts. The collaboration was cool, and I can see how excited Matt is to like be around the actors and be part of the whole artistic process.
The process itself,
yeah, I think he got a little bug, but Google's definitely holding it down in this situation. It's nice.
Lovely.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. The story is pertinent to today. What do you think was the ultimate thing you get out of it from setting it in the future?
That we are, I was going to say slowly but surely. No, that's not true. We are allowing our freedoms to be taken away from us willingly. As we move forward sort of socially and politically, I think people are not really paying attention. They're being distracted by other things, and agendas are being put forth that are not ours, that do not benefit us in any way. But then we look up, and that's the law.
Wow.
Right.
And apparently you voted for it.
Yeah.
When?
Oh,
What?
oh,
How?
oh.
When?
Well,
Wait a
yeah.
minute. Whoa. Yeah, no, but that's what's
The
going
majority,
on.
yeah.
That's what's
Right,
going on.
right.
But who's the majority?
Right.
All the people I know, well, most, again, retraction, most of the people I know did not vote for that person.
Right.
So I'm like,
Of course.
figuring out certain things, and a lot of things are coming to the fore right now that are shocking to me
Right.
from a
Yeah.
social aspect.
And from all avenues, Agnes touches on it coming on almost all sectors of our society.
Well,
correct?
the way Ice wrote the play, the central character, Agnes, is somebody that doesn't look like us.
Wow.
It's somebody that you're going to look at and immediately think to yourself, whoa, wait a minute. Who's that? Where is he from? What is he? But that doesn't necessarily mean that he's a bad person or a criminal or a terrorist. And that's what's going on right now in America. That's going on globally. There are things going on in Israel. There are things going on it's scary. Syria, but here, now walking in the street, having people look at me in a way that I haven't, honestly ever seen them look at me before. I grew up in New York City in the 70s, and of course at that time thought to myself as a kid, by the time 2018 rolls around, it's gonna be really cool,
Right.
you know. And it's not. It's not as cool as it was in the 70s.
Right.
People were hip back then. Now, you know, a lot of people don't know where they stand.
Right. Very true. Very true. So, in a way, taking the future and showing how it hasn't changed from today, or
No,
how
but that has changed.
it's changed.
Oh.
It's changed.
It's progressed
Yeah.
to a point of celebrity. It's progressed to a point of secretiveness.
Yeah.
There are things going on that we just don't know about. Where ICE set the play up, a place called Quambarge. You know, it's Guantanamo Bay.
Wow.
Now, for us, what do we really know about what Guantanamo Bay is and what goes on there? There are certain things that
Wow.
came out, but at the same time, that's not part of our everyday existence. You know, that's where they hold terrorists. But who's a terrorist? You could be a terrorist.
That's the question. Who's the terrorist?
Yeah, no, but if they dragged you up onto Fox, CNN, MSNBC, and paraded you across the cameras and said, you know, Philip Harvey is so and such and did this and that, the country would believe it. The world would believe it without even questioning it.
No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt. No doubt. So there's also a video of the process of ICE getting into character.
Yeah.
So there's a whole kind of preparation for him to walk into this role.
Well, he has sort of this skin condition, so sort of an albinoism. But again, it's this metaphor, you know, but it's in front of your face. So you've got this man with white skin and black features, and you don't know what the hell he is.
Yeah.
Except for what they're telling you.
Yeah. I hear echoes of, for example, albinos in certain parts on the continent who have been for generations have been seen as kind of curses on society, and really, in some cases, almost tried to be killed off. To that level.
Well, from a political standpoint, I think ICE was playing with the idea that we're living in an America right now where not the agenda, but the rule is, you know, white is good and
Right.
black is not. So what happens when you're both?
Right.
Now what? You know?
Not to mention another, say, a Latino or a little Asian influence. That gets
Yeah,
a
but
little-
you got to see this guy
Oh
in
my
his
God, I
makeup. He
can't
looks
Yeah.
crazy.
You know what's been into my head, Philip, is the decor. I'm wondering what that set looks like. You know, I'm wondering what the clothes and the furnishings. You know, I had to go there. I can only imagine the vision if it's.
Yeah.
if it's that
I
intense.
think I did. I came right from rehearsal and came here.
Yeah.
I mentioned to another actor today when we were walking in that as long as we stay front-footed and aggressive about the piece, it's gonna pop.
Nice.
It is. It's an in-your-face sort of. I don't know. Ice wrote a really interesting play, and if you know him, you know he's coming from someplace personal, and it's political, without a doubt. I think people are gonna walk away feeling a certain kind of way.
Well, he's assembled a great cast. I know that much, having you in it here, as we say. And tell us a little bit more about some of the other people that you're working with.
Wow, Nelson Arpaio, the director, is a cat that's been working. Like he took off the other day to go to Sing Sing.
Yeah.
He's doing a production of Mice and Men with the prisoners, man.
Wow.
Like, and that's, to me, that's tough work. I got offered a position this past year in 2017 to go into the New York State prison system and work with young brothers, but like real hardened felons, but
Right.
younger cats.
Okay.
You know, to sort of mentor them and take them through the arts and teach them about poetry and drama and literature, that sort of thing. Once we got into the bureaucracy of it and I started meeting the people, I balked at the idea. One of the things that I'm most proud of Khalil Kane as a person is that I've never done time and I've never had to fight in a war. And the idea of walking in there started to bother me.
Ouch.
Not the part of being able to support, you know, young brothers and sisters that are in there, but just to be part of that system in any way. Like, I remember having a dream and waking up and thinking to myself, this isn't a good idea. I don't need that on my spirit.
Right.
I know I would walk out of there like holding something, you know, on me that may or may not wash off, and that's not always safe.
Right.
Good for you to feel that, though. 'cause-
You have to know
Yeah,
yourself,
good
you
for
know,
you. And it
know
does
what your
matter.
limits are.
Yep.
You know,
And I
I
will
still got to come home and play with my kids.
There you go.
know
And
what
your
I mean?
doggy. And
Right.
your-
That's
yeah.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's interesting too when I think of you as not only this adorably handsome,
Oh,
talented
Lord.
young man. I also think of just being a good, nice guy, like someone that I would want my kids to look up to and hang out. So it's good
Son
that you-
Bilal.
My son Bilal. No, real talk. I don't know if you ever told you. Khalil was one of the names I wanted for my older son. And I chose Bilal because
Khalil's
all
a
the
strong
Khalil,
name. It goes back
well,
centuries.
Yeah, but they're also smooth and sexy. And,
Okay,
you
all right.
know.
This
How many Khalils do you know?
I know four.
Oh, wow. See,
Four
the
Khalils.
name's catching on. No, I like it. I like it.
Well, okay. Let's
little
get back
regression
to
there, a little regression.
Okay, let's get back to the point at hand here, because we can't get lost on this central character of Agnes and all that he kind of embodies, the awkwardness, the strangeness, you know. Knowing you and a lot of the characters that you've played before, what and you're obviously attracted to the writing. You're obviously attracted to the piece itself.
You know what I was
what
attracted
really
to
attracted
really
to you
was
this
Ice.
project?
Ice Life. He wanted to talk to me about the play. He sent me the play. I read it. I thought it was cool. I thought it was smart. I thought it was saying something that needed to be heard. But you know, okay. I met the young dude, and we met over at Google with Matt Werner, and Ice is somebody that's really passionate about what he's doing, and something that I love about this man, and something that really struck me in spending time with him is that he is thoughtful about his speech. When talking to anyone. And I mean, we're in rehearsal. Sometimes it gets heated. People are making judgments. People are working and trying things. Some things work, some things don't. But he's the star of this play. He wrote it. He's a producer on this play, and I'm watching him and how
he's
he
a
deals
great
with.
communicator.
But it ain't even about being a great communicator. It's being thoughtful about your speech and what you say to somebody and how you say it. I'm funky like that. Like, you can say whatever you want to me, but watch your tone. If the tone is wrong, there might be a problem. You know.
He's going to
Wow.
go off the
Serious.
field.
No, I mean, I'm 25 years in the business,
Right.
you know, and there's been some bumps in the road.
Right.
Because there's a lot of people that don't know how to talk to people.
Well, that's part of communication as well. Well, you're a director as well.
Right.
So you understand that from both angles.
Right. I would
Yeah.
never ask somebody to do something that I would not do myself. But to see someone do it thoughtfully and willingly and consistently
Right.
is special. I appreciate it. I mean, the young man has a vocabulary. He's not that young. I keep saying he's just younger. He's just younger than me. You know, no, but he gives me when we hang out, he gives me that sort of big brother respect constantly. So, you know, it's sort of a thing now. But that's something that I think societally we've lost, and how people speak to
see.
each other and show each other respect and love and courtesy out the gate, just because they're human. Like that should be enough. You shouldn't have to be the boss or have a Rolex on or be stepping out of a Benz for me to get some respect.
Right.
That should just be the way it is. But it's not that way.
Yeah.
And I mean, forget about all the other forms of speech, derogatory and otherwise, that are used today that I'm not too happy about.
Yeah. I know.
Like ICE refuses to use the N-word. Will not.
I can
not.
go for that.
Yeah, right.
And
No, I
plus-
get down like that,
gets
but
my
everybody
vote.
doesn't get down like that.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. No, it's good.
Sometimes it slips out.
Yeah. No. Sometimes. We're gonna talk to my friend.
Yeah, right. That wasn't my. No, this cat is consistent, man.
among
With
friends, of
everybody.
course.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nah, I don't do it.
All right.
I don't do it.
We're here at WHCR 90.3 FM. This is C3Arts Radio, and we're gonna be right back. We got Khalil Kane
Hey.
in the house. We got Melody Vaughn in the house, of course, Winston Brewington.
Yo.
And we are the broadcast hour of City College Center for the Arts. We'll be back in a moment. C3Arts Radio, and we're back. Ladies and gentlemen, always back right here at WHCR 90.3 FM. Please know that you can also catch us on WHCR.org. That's where we live stream, and also online, tunein.com, WHCR-FM. Of course, it's every Tuesday right here, 5 to 6 p.m. And we have back in the house today Mr. Khalil Kane.
Harlem, what's happening?
That's right. We have to welcome him, man. Doing plenty of work up here in Harlem. Very proud. And of course, we are the voice of Harlem. I just like to say that.
It's got a nice ring to it. Yeah, it does. It does.
So, and we're talking about Agnes. It's a new play that's opening up on January 18th. It's going to be starring Khalil Kain. It was, of course, written by Ice Life. And it is something we have been looking forward to some time now. And it is right upon us. So Khalil has joined us to and give us the real spin.
Yeah,
the real
folks,
deal.
we're going to be at Theater Row, 42nd Street between 9th and 10th at the Lion Theater. You know, come check it out. It's going to be a good show. Yeah.
And thank you for joining us tonight.
Yo, man, you know, you got to, look, every time you invite me, Phil, I'm going to come through. You got to treat your people right. Even this job, I would be remiss if I didn't shout out my man, Russell Jones. Now, Russell Jones is a brother that works as an actor and a director here, primarily in New York, but he's doing big things. And Russell, I worked with at a reading at the Lark Theater, and Ngozi's play. It was dope. We had a great time. But you know, just doing things like that.
When you say Ngozi's play, wait.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he wants a little bit more. He's
He's gotta slip that in there.
No, but it was cool. You know, Russell directed that piece, and Ice knows Russell. And when Ice said, you know, I need some people, man. Russell, you know anybody? And he was like, yo, what do you think about Khalil Kain? And Ice was like, I love Khalil Kain. You know him? Can you call him? And Russell hit me up, and then he hooked Ice and I up. But the thing about it is that if I was showing my ass, you know, when I was working with Russell would have never recommended me. People need to like act right, man. It's not that hard. Like it's a really small community, and every time I see, you know, one of the younger brothers wilding out, I'm like, yo, dude, like this is a marathon. It's not a sprint. Like, really, really be cool. On the we did the 25th anniversary of Juice. I'm out in L.A. We did a screening out there, and I see Michelle Ndegeocello at the party. I'm like, ow!
I would have done the same thing.
I go home, I'm like, yo, what's up? How you doing? And I heard you got some new stuff coming out. Yo, I was in the studio, I played your bass last week. Like, I was wilding out. She was like, good to see you, Khalil. What's up? How you doing? Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, cool. She was a PA on Juice.
Really?
Wow.
Interesting. I went to college with her.
I was like, what?
Wow.
Word? I don't even remember that. She was like, yes, Khalil. I was a PA on Juice. I was like, that's crazy. So you know, a lot of things can happen over time. It's really a great idea to build, you know, strong bridges and like, you know, wonderful relationships over time, you know. I mean, people don't know about you, Phil. They don't know what a beast you are. You and your wife, the powerful. You know, they don't know. You know, people need to know this. You know.
It's one thing I'll say though is that there seems to be something bubbling. Like there's a lot of kind of talent congealing around this time.
Yeah.
And I think that's fantastic, Khalil, that you would be so open to what you see as the next kind of flowering, so to speak.
Well, I work because I need to work. I don't work to pay bills. I work to feed my spirit. And if people could really start to connect with that in a more conscious way, I think there will be more beautiful things created. I think right now, because of where we are politically and socially in this country, it's automatically going to give birth to strong art. And I'm excited. I'm ready. Let's go.
Yeah.
Who got scripts? What we doing? Let's rock. You know, let's do it. For real.
No, I hear you.
What do you feel about how do you feel about all these other networks coming on board, like Amazon starting their own channels and movies and such?
The game is changing.
Yeah.
But the game is always changing.
Yeah.
You know, Phil. I mean, across the board, it's entertainment. And as we grow culturally, with technology, all these things, you know, the industry has to keep up.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's just how it is.
Yeah.
I think it's going to shake things up. I think, especially with films, because of people going to the theaters, we're going to have to really start bringing more interesting content to the theater.
Yeah.
if people are gonna pay $20, $15 to $20 to buy a ticket to go see a movie, especially if they can sit home and watch it on Netflix.
It has to be a bigger experience now, yeah.
Or saying something that you ain't heard yet.
Yeah.
Like
that's
this
what's
movie,
up.
like this play.
Yeah,
I
this
think
play is
that-
going to be interesting.
Yeah.
I just love the idea of a new young black voice,
Right.
which is Ice Life. That's why I got involved. That's why I support the brother. That's why I'm there, rehearsal every day, and we're getting it in. That's what it is.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I just wanted to ask, if you don't mind, what do you want people who come to see the play to leave with afterwards? Is there a certain feeling or a thought?
Yeah, I want them to understand that freedom is not something that is given ever. You will always have to fight for your freedom.
Wow.
That is historically been proven. And we've become complacent, lazy even, especially as Americans, because we are spoiled in that regard. And slowly but surely, as our freedoms are starting to be taken away, we're starting to realize, like, yo, it's time to stand up. It's time to wake up. It's time to really start paying attention. Because if you don't, it will be too late. And there will be no Amazon, no Netflix, no nothing.
Right.
Fed, whatever it is you're watching.
Yeah.
Which is kind of how it is now,
Yeah.
watching CNN or Fox. Or how can you watch a news cycle and you got 3 different stations telling you the same story
thing.
but 3 different ways?
Right.
So what's the truth?
That's a good question.
Somebody answer, please. 'Cause I done turned my TV off.
Yeah.
Seriously, I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm good.
I had to give myself a break for a little while from all that
Yeah.
stuff, man.
Yeah.
I did.
Now, what would you say, Khalil? Because we've had some conversations about this before, and I know you've been active in the off-Broadway scene, and as we say, kind of incubating other actors and such. And really, I brought that up for a reason, because I feel that you're in a sense helping. You're one of the architects of what we're looking at as our new cinema and theater coming out of New York, really. Now, but what do you see in the future? Like, how do you crystallize? If it were according to your vision, which I think you do have a vision.
I left Los Angeles 7 years ago and moved back to New York to sort of get back up on stage and work in the theater and write. I've been writing some plays. I've been writing some poetry. I've been writing some screenplays. But I really feel like theater, the stage, is the last bastion of like honest storytelling, where there's not as much censorship. There aren't as many eyes on it, and it happens that night, and it's live, and then you walk away, and you have to digest it on your own through memory. That's huge. That's a skill that we have to refine, our memory. Like, no, go. Experience it.
Yeah.
Hold it in your body. Don't look it up on your
Hold it,
phone.
yeah.
Yes, no, hold that.
Love it.
Yeah,
Hold that.
That's right.
So
That's right.
I'm looking forward to starting something called the Legacy Theater Project here at City College Center of the Arts, where we're going to be incubating new playwrights. I'm hoping to get that up this year.
Absolutely.
I'm headed to Atlanta. As soon as we finish up with Agnes, I'm headed to Atlanta to direct a film called Masters with Studio 11 Pictures. It's about a young millennial brother who gets his master's, finishes his internship and doesn't get the job, and then runs off to Atlanta to experience some things, and this way he will have some memories to hold and use as he walks forward in his life. It's work, go do the work.
Right, absolutely. And last time you were here, we got to talking about not only this coming project and Agnes and the play that you're currently in, but also how you kind of took the past as a way of framing the future. And I wonder if that was, if at that time you were talking, you were kind of being influenced by the kind of theme of the play, or was it something that kind of also brought you to this production because you were in the same kind of alignments and same kind of view?
It was just a few weeks ago, Phil. What you talking about?
No,
man?
but that, 2 months ago, sir.
It counts.
Yeah, no. I think I've been really fortunate in being able to have very interesting, potent people, artists in my life from a very young age.
Yeah.
So yeah, being able to use my past as a base, as a stage to stand on, is something that I'm fortunate in that. I mean, growing up, a child of one of the last poets, and being there at the East Wind with Amiri Baraka and the and the Black Panthers and Young Lords and people coming through. I worked with Ruby D, Sidney Poitier,
Yeah.
Gregory Hines.
We can go down the line. You got a lot more.
So if you're not paying attention, that's on you.
Yeah.
And if you don't honor those things, again, that's on you. But that's not me.
Yeah.
I mean, the time that I got to spend with Gregory Hines, I know he's resting in peace. He's such a beautiful human being, but he really, gave me a blueprint on how to comport myself as a man in this business. And again, you got to pay attention. And then from that example, as opposed to just doing my own thing, no, I'm passing that on.
Yeah.
So, any of the young brothers that I hook up with or have an opportunity to work with, it's not even a matter of telling them, it's more a matter of showing them.
Yeah.
I hear
People
you.
learn by what you do, but not by what you say.
And you have to be
So,
consistent.
Yeah.
And they're watching too.
Yeah.
Oh my
They are
God.
watching.
No doubt.
Believe it.
No doubt.
Believe it.
No doubt. I mean, I'm looking at my son right now,
Yeah.
Luca Kane.
Luca.
He's starring in a film called Saturday Church
Okay.
that just got released this past Friday.
Is that right? Okay.
Yeah, man. It was in the Tribeca Film Festival.
Love it.
And he even got nominated as Best Actor in the festival this past festival.
Is that right?
He's killing the game.
How old is he?
Okay.
Luca's 18. He's 17. He's about to be 18.
Luca.
Yeah, Luca.
Love the name.
Yeah.
That's good
Yeah, Luca's a
stuff.
beast.
Yeah.
I mean, he's already been on Broadway. He's
see.
he's about to graduate from LaGuardia. But again, I can see the way he handles himself.
Right.
And it's beautiful.
Because
to-
he saw
to watch.
you.
That's right.
Yeah, but he's also worked with a lot of,
Yeah.
I mean, both of us got an opportunity to be directed by Felicia Rashad. He worked with her at Hartford Stage doing Raisin in the Sun. I did Gem of the Ocean with her at Seattle Rep. And
Yeah.
I know for fact that that's a situation that changed both of us.
Yeah,
in
she'll
ways.
do that. Yeah.
Yeah, but I told my
do
man
that.
when he went in for the audition, I was like, yo, when you see Felicia Rashad, you tell her my daddy says hello. So he walked in there and he said, excuse me, my father wanted me to tell you that he says hello. She said, who's your daddy? He said, Khalil Kane. She looked at him, she goes, yeah, that's your dad. That's definitely your dad.
So, do we see a father-son theater performance coming soon?
I would love that. As a matter of fact, this film Masters that I'm about to direct, he's just a little too young, or I would have hired him.
Yeah. Oh my God, that would be awesome.
But
It's coming.
There
It's
you
coming.
have it. There you have it. There you have it. Of course, Mr. Khalil K. Now
Yo!
you gonna stick around with us for a
Yeah, no
moment?
doubt. Harlem, stand up.
So we're gonna be right back. Of course, this is C3 Arts Radio. We're bringing Monique Martin on the air. Of course, the director of programming for Harlem Stage is going to join us and talk about what's coming up in the spring season of Harlem Stage, and also we'll talk a little bit about the great Ella Fitzgerald as well. Okay, we'll be right back. C3 Arts Radio.
It's very clear our love is here to stay, not for a year, but ever and a day. The radio just be passing fancies, and in time may go. But oh, my dear, our love is here to stay. Together we're going a long, long way. In time the Rockies may crumble, Gibraltar may tumble, they're only made of clay. But our love is here to stay. But oh, my dear, our love is here to stay. Together we're going a long, long way. In time the Rockies may crumble, Gibraltar may tumble, they're only made of clay. But our love is here to stay. It's here to stay. It's here to stay. It's here to stay.
Yeah. I came home from work in the middle of the morning, not feeling well as I should. I unlocked the door and called her name like a good man would. She was lying across my bed in the arms of another man. It hurt me so bad I sat right down and cried. I said, wahoo, wahoo, wahoo. That's the way I cried. I told her that we must part. I could see that it was breaking her up for me to know what she had done. But if I'd stayed on my job, I never would have known my woman was doing me wrong. Never would have known my woman was doing me wrong.
Back, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, this is C3 Arts Radio. your loyal host, Philip Harvey. And we had a jam-packed show today, right?
Ha! Yes.
Khalil Kane, we introduced you to Melody Vaughn. She is, of course, going to be handling our correspondence on everything to do with interior design, all your questions, and much, much more, as a matter of fact. In fact, we're going to get into that next week and really give you the full introduction to Miss Melody Vaughn. And we got more in store. We have for you, ladies and gentlemen, Miss Monique Martin.
That would be me. Hey, Phil. Good to talk to you again.
How you doing, Monique? How's everything?
I'm great. Thank you for having me.
Happy New Year, all that good stuff. And I must tell you that we have Khalil Kane and Melody Vaughn. They're still joining us here.
Hello.
But but we really want to, 100 years ago, so Ella Fitzgerald was born. And I think it's so important that Harlem Stage is doing this program on Ella Fitzgerald and celebrating the centennial. And I know this is just a modicum of the things to come, but I want to get into that to you as well, go over the spring season here, of spring 2018. But I want to talk a little bit about the Ella Fitzgerald centennial celebration. What was some of the thinking? What was some of the preparation that went into this event?
Well, the centennial, 100 years, is certainly an occasion to celebrate a legend and an icon such as Ella that has inspired and paved the way for many of the artists that we know and love today. We had the opportunity to celebrate Thelonious Monk's centennial in the fall, and now we're celebrating Ella. So we want to keep our legends and icons uplifted and available, their music and their legacy that they left behind to both a younger generation and also those that know and love her, whether that was through their parents listening to the music or themselves as well. And we believe that Dee Dee Bridgewater is the person and the vocalist and the artist to to give us that musical journey that Ella left. So we are so excited. I can't tell you.
we can agree with that totally. Dee Dee Bridgewater is what do they say, inspired choice?
Yes.
Absolutely. And so I love the way the Harlem Stage, the kind of attention to detail and really making an event out of it. I really appreciate that as well. But there's so much going on. I know we don't have you on here for a long time, Monique. I do want to run down what some of our artists can expect here in the first quarter of the year. Hopefully, when this, looking forward to when the weather falls. But even before then, there's so much programming coming up at Harlem Stage. Can we run through a few of these?
Sure.
Things?
I wanted to add that on January 16th, a week from today, when we celebrate Ella Fitzgerald. At 7 p.m. at Harlem Stage. She will also be joined by Way McDonald. And Way McDonald is a beautiful 18-year-old artist that came through Harlem School of the Arts. One of the initiatives that I am bringing forward with Harlem Stage, being newly appointed here, is looking at how can we connect with our other beloved institutions in Harlem. Way McDonald came to us through HSA. We honored her last year at our spring gala, and she is a powerhouse. She was on The Voice. She advanced Voice. And so she's coming back, and that's something that we're very proud of, that someone who is 18 years old is sharing the stage with Dee Dee Bridgewater. So Way McDonald will open with a 20-minute set followed by Dee Dee Bridgewater. So I just wanted to highlight that, that you'll be able to see an emerging artist as well as an established artist. And then on the Centennial conversation in March, we are celebrating Lena Horne with two artists, vocalist Candace Hoyes and tap dancer Dormisha Sumbry Edwards, who was in many Broadway productions and is a fantastic tap dancer, and she will be looking at Ella through the lens of the Cotton Club and those days of when there were variety shows. So those are our two spring centennial celebrations. And then we've introduced the DJ Dance Party, which we had a lot of success with last season, and backed by popular demand. So following the Ella program, on the 27th of January, we have a DJ dance party and jam session. So this is the Shed, which takes place biweekly at Gin Fizz and Sylvana's, and they are coming. The Anu Sun, who's the architect of it, he's the founder, and he won the Grammy last year with Robert Glasper for Miles Ahead. So the 27th is the day before the Grammys, and there's a lot of activities. The Grammys are in New York this year. There's a lot of activities that happen for that week leading up to the Grammys. So there will be some amazing surprise guests that will be part of the jam session as well as the DJ dance party. So that's also happening. We have
the Stretch Music Festival as well. Monique,
yep, Stretch Music Festival returns with some incredible artists. Of course, Christian Scott, who is our artist in resident, and also curating that. We have two bands each night. They both are phenomenal. We also will be looking at, with the Stretch Music Festival and the residency week that he's here beginning on March 27th, a free Stretch Music Intensive that will happen at Manhattan School of Music with our partner at Manhattan School of Music. Also, Christian has composed a film score for his twin brother's film. We'll show that short film and then have a panel discussion around film scoring. There's a lot of amazing artists that are now scoring for films in other than Spike Lee and his relationship with the trumpeter that I see in my face, but his name isn't coming to me. You didn't see as many African Americans and people of color scoring films. So now that door is opening a bit, and we want to talk about that. What does it take? What it goes into scoring a film? So we'll be talking about that as well during the Stretch Music Festival.
Fantastic. And also there's are you doing a dual program with the National Black Theater?
Yes, that is going to be fire. So that program is in partnership with Carnegie Hall. They're doing a citywide festival, the music of the 60s, the years that changed America, and we are one of those partners, and our focus will be on the mothers of the movement.
Right.
Oftentimes, the mothers of the movement, get kind of pushed to the side, and we know that in any movement, and particularly with the civil rights movement, there were so many women behind the scenes in that organizing on many levels, and so we want to celebrate them, and we're doing that through looking through the lens of Abby Lincoln and her influence on Max Roach on that seminal album, We Insist. So we also are looking at Dr. Barbara Antier, and that's the piece with National Black Theater. They're doing a program following ours 2 weeks later, and celebrating and uplifting the women of the movements. And we say that plurally, because we're also looking at movements that are happening now, whether it's Black Lives Matter, whether it's Me Too, just really looking at women and their force.
Absolutely. And Mark Carey is in on that project as well.
Mark Carey is the person. Mark Carey has a relationship with Harlem Stage, and I've had the pleasure of producing him, and he will be leading. He was a long-time collaborator and influenced by Abby Lincoln. He was in Abby's band.
That's right.
I don't know how old he was, but he was very young and mentored by Abby Lincoln. So he is definitely the right choice to be the musical director and pulling this program together with me in the band. Terry Lynn Carrington is playing on the drums. We have also who's going to be on that bill is the incredible, who I'm looking for. Sorry about that.
No worries.
His name. But anyway, it's a kick butt band, and
it's a lot
Mark
going
Carey
on.
is our musical director, and we're celebrating the mothers of the movement, and that's on March 9th.
All right. Monique, you're putting in a lot of work, and we really appreciate it. It's fantastic what you've been putting together.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I look forward to seeing you guys
absolutely.
here.
We'll
If
be out.
you need further information, you can go onto the website of harlemstage.org, and all of the details for the programming is there. Reggie Workman, that's who's performing with Mark Carey. So it's Reggie Workman, Samir Gupta, Terry Lynn Carrington. So we have a lot of wonderful programming that spans. And then we have some free programming as well. I want to say one last thing. On April 4th will be the 50th anniversary of the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King, and we have a special program for that that really uplifts his legacy on the occasion of his the 50th anniversary of his assassination, and really looking at, and it's entitled Ascension, and really looking at, what is the legacy he left behind.
All right. Thank you, Monique. That's fantastic. And I wish we had a little bit more time. We're
Me
running
too.
right to the edge.
You got to have me back, Phil.
You know I will, Monique. You know I will. Thank you so much for joining us. I want to thank Khalil Kane and Melanie Bond. This is C3Arts Radio. We're out of here. We'll be back next Tuesday, ladies.
Thank you.
Take care now.
Bye.